Alright, ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to be working on our emotionally driven selfies and drawing a self-portrait of ourselves by using the grid drawing method. You guys know the grid method. You guys have mastered or almost mastered the grid method, and we are trying to master it with this assignment. This is a large assignment, guys. You have a piece of paper that is 12 inch by 16 inches, and your responsibility is to grid it off 1 by 1 inch squares. Okay, so that means you're going to put a dash line at every inch and then line your ruler up from dash to dash and draw your lines. Now, it's really important for you to understand you need to draw these lines as light as possible. They are there only for your reference and not to be seen later. Now, as you can see, I drew super light, and then I had to, in the video, show you a contrast, so therefore you could actually see my lines. This is my line drawing, my contour line drawing of my selfie, and now I'm showing you exactly the specifics of, the specific positioning of the eye within the grids. Again, there's the tear duct. Just like in the picture to my drawing, the tear duct has that same positioning in that unique square. Same thing with the pupil, the iris, the fold of the eye. Like, I'm paying very close attention to how each line interacts with each square. Now, if I just look at my face as one big object that I have to draw, I'm going to get overwhelmed and I'm not going to know what to do. But by gridding off your picture, this allows you to simplify. Be able to see each square to square and line to line, the relationship from line to square. Makes things a lot easier and way more simple. Now, drawing grid is one thing, but then when adding in your values, it's a little bit more complex. Basically, I'm utilizing the squares as how I would when doing a contour line drawing. I'm just focusing on how dark something is, how light something is, and how it changes from dark to light in that specific part of that square. As you can see, on the outside of that iris, it's really dark. The pupil is dark as well. The pupil is one of my darkest points. So I can judge other areas of how dark something is or how light something is compared to the pupil. A lot of times when looking at the values, people get really frustrated and because what they're doing is they're not simplifying for themselves. They are focused on a whole part of an object rather than just the part of the square. You all know how to do gradual value change. You all know how to control value with your pencil. And so literally what you're doing is you're using the drawing methods that you've learned beforehand, hatching and cross hatching, and even the freestyle scribbling method, to be able to fill in those areas and to have control on how dark something is and how light something is. So those are the things and the elements that you're really paying attention to while drawing. Now, one thing, the reason why I showed you this part in this assignment is because you can see that my hand is resting on a blank white piece of paper. The reason for this is because I am drawing with a lead pencil. When drawing with a lead pencil, you always have opportunity for your hand, for your arm, and your wrist to smear your work. This is not what we want. I can't stand it when I forget my piece of paper and I look down and I have all of these smudged areas. So what I do is I lay down a piece of paper underneath my hand, have it pretty close to where I'm drawing, and then I draw as is. And when my hand is sliding across the paper, I don't have any smear marks because my drawing is actually under the piece of paper. There are two main parts to this video. there's this part where you get to see like an actual piece of the anatomy being drawn, you know, the eye, and you know, it's something that is familiar, yet you have a lot of contrast in the eye. You have some really dark areas and some light areas. You have some skin, and you also have some eyelashes. And I wanted you to really be able to see how that's drawn. Where the skin, a lot of times with the skin, is just a lot of shifting of values from dark to light, and not a ton of detail in the skin. So I wanted to make sure that you got to see a part in the video where it is detailed. The second part of the video is facial hair. Now on me, on my emotionally driven selfie, you don't see my hair, but you do see my beard. And so I wanted you to be able to see the way that I went about in drawing the beard. With the beard, what I did was I focused on first the skin that's surrounding the hair, because the hair overlaps the skin. So what I did was I made sure that I had the surrounding parts done, so therefore in areas where some hair might overlap that area, I didn't want to have to work around the hair that I already drew in, because I do have some lighter hairs versus some darker hairs, and so I thought it'd be easiest if I, do some of the surrounding skin first, especially like the lips, versus just jumping right into the hair and then having to work around individual strands of hair. So that is why you see me, starting off underneath the nose and really placing in the lips first. But when it comes to hair really shows a defined direction, and that is the direction in which I'm going to be drawing. So the mustache works up and down, and so my hatching is working up and down. If I hatch side to side, it's just not going to look like the hair that is on my face. It's not going to make sense. So you really need to make sure that you hatch in the direction that you see the hair moving in your picture. Alright guys, so go have at it. Have some fun. Don't forget, with the grid, draw as light as possible, so therefore it doesn't interfere with your final product.